Hello everyone, my name is Jayben, and welcome to first of a potential side series on my channel. Recently I've been thinking, I've been very much inspired by the YouTuber and animator Kerbifer, who does I'm not sure, I can't remember if they're weekly or like he does an episode per day, but Guy Kerbifer does these Kerblogs, which he talks about random different subjects, whether that be web production, because he is well known for creating the series Tome, or he just talks about different fandoms he's in and topics about certain characters, popular media, and I was inspired and I thought I'd do the same. So if you like that idea, please do let me know in the comments so I know that this is something worth doing weekly and kind of changing the algorithm of how I upload. As for today's topic, I thought it would be a very, very wise first topic, since it's relevant and in the now, to talk about Bionicle ending again. Recently, LEGO has canceled Bionicle G2 a year early, because we as the fandom, I'm pretty sure we all knew that with the way the sets were selling, they had a 3-year plan and they probably weren't going to continue it after the 3rd year, just because it wasn't doing very well. But it's unfortunate to see that it has ended a lot earlier than expected, and I know the fandom, the community as a whole, is freaking out about it. On Instagram, I acted kind of jokey and kind of like sarcastic about the whole thing, because I honestly don't care that G2 is ending personally, because I wasn't a big fan of G2. Like, some of the earlier sets, like the Winter Wave of 2015, were okay, but everything after that was pretty meh, and the story wasn't anything special. It didn't reach the depth that the original Bionicle G1 story did, and it never really caught my interest as much as Generation 1, which, for those who don't know, I'm 20 years old and I grew up with the original story. So I was also there for when the original Bionicle ended, and back then it was kind of a shame, it was very much something that the fan base had never expected. We just thought that Bionicle was going to be there forever. We thought that our favorite line of toys was there forever. And keep in mind, I wasn't a part of the web community, but I still actively followed Bionicle on my own, and I knew that there was a web fandom that was very, very, very shocked about it. I just never became social in it. And, so Bionicle already had that kind of, like, bad nerve to it, that it was canceled before its time once before, and now that it's being canceled again, it was kind of struck a nerve with a fan base who's already touchy about early cancellations. And, on the business side of things, I can't blame LEGO. The sets seem to be selling, like, not at all. There's so many, like, leftover sets in stores. They just, they didn't even need to restock because nobody was buying them. And that is a shame that this generation doesn't have as much interest in the line as older fans and people who are in the fandom. But as from a business perspective, I can see why LEGO did cut it off kind of early. It's a shame that we didn't get the Makuta set, and I feel like even if you're not bummed out about the story ending, I know a lot of people are very, very angry that we're not getting a Makuta set. And while I think that is kind of a shame, I don't think it's at all a bad decision on LEGO's part, because if they obviously did have a set like made and planned, like the 3D model in Journey to 1 obviously shows that they had some form of like design thought of, and the factor is that there was that, just like, what else could they have made sets of for 2017 if they just had that one character left? If they're canceling Bionicle now, there would be no way to sell just Makuta, because like they're not just going to continue it for one more year to sell one set. That is a very poor decision from a business standpoint. Like, they cannot, as a company, send out one set in a line per year. Like, that's just not possible. That's not the way that they do things as a toy business, and I understand why they're not releasing Makuta. While it is sad, it's also not the biggest deal in the world, and the Bionicle wasn't doing well. They had to cancel it, and it's a shame. It's just something that had to be. Now, looking away from the kind of I guess, business side of things and the, like, my opinions on it, I do want to say something to the community. And I know TTV has already pretty much said this, and while I don't follow TTV as much as before, I will give Messanak a lot of credit for this. He really did, like, drive the point home that as long as we as fans create our own fan works, as long as we continue mocking, as long as we continue being fans of Bionicle, the name Bionicle, the aspect of that franchise that once was, will never truly die. And while we might not get sets ever again, I think I'm fine with that personally, because Bionicle was already a rotting corpse during G2. So I know it's kind of like a dark way to describe it. It was past its day. Like it was a fact. It was a product of the early 2000s, and it was time for Bionicle to be laid to rest. I thank Bionicle G2 for bringing me back into it. That's the one thing I can definitely thank Generation 2 for, and I have to give it praise for, is that it got a lot of people who are out of the community and out of interest in Bionicle back into it. And I wouldn't be here today making content for you guys if it weren't for Generation 2 Bionicle, if it weren't for that spark of the reboot giving me back in and getting me into mocking as a hobby. And I have met so many new friends and people that I'm going to be able to work with and create content with through this community and through Bionicle G2 leading me to this community. And for that, I will say thank you, LEGO, for bringing back Bionicle one more time, and thank you for creating Bionicle to begin with. Unlike a lot of the fan base, I'm thanking you for doing your best with the line. I'm not calling you evil. You are a business, and I understand, and I hope by listening to this, a lot of you younger kids in the community also understand that they're a business and this is the way it had to be. And it's best not to be angry about it. It's best not to get so riled up and blame LEGO like they're evil, because they're not. They are just a business. They're trying to make money, and while I feel like they did handle this the best they could without trying to stir up too much controversy, and while it didn't necessarily work that way, you gotta understand that they're a company. They're just doing their best to make a profit, and you can't blame them. So please continue your fan works, guys. Continue your mocks. Continue making Bionicle live on through the fans, and just do you. Alright, I think this blog got a little rambly, and this is my first time doing it, so it's also a bit early. It's like 6 in the morning where I live, so my brain isn't fully, like, awoken. But yeah, so let me know what you think about doing this kind of weekly blog, and if you'd like to see more. And in the comments, also let me know some topics I should talk about, whether that be Bionicle or different fandoms. In my Q&A video, I listed some fandoms I'm in, so if there's anything there you'd like me to talk about, just let me know in the comments. And I might bring some guests on every so often to record a blog if it's a topic I can discuss them with. I definitely know there's some people I could talk about Marvel and DC Comics with. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Later.